With me today, I have the brand new 2020 Toyota Camry all-wheel drive. I know a lot of you guys watching have been waiting and begging Toyota for an all-wheel drive variant of the Camry, and it is finally here. Look at behind me, look at these mountains. Toyota actually flew me out to Utah so that I could review and drive one of the brand new Camry all-wheel drives for you guys, and that's what I'm here to do. In this review video, I'm gonna show you the ins and outs, tell you the good and bad, and of course go for a drive. Not only for a drive, but drive on mountainous, curvy, and steep hills that you see behind me. So if you want to learn everything there is to know about this brand new Camry all-wheel drive, or you're in the market for a midsize sedan, this is one review video you don't want to miss. Stay tuned. Now, starting with the outside, this XSE trim with all-wheel drive looks identical to the non-all-wheel drive XSE. The front end still looks very aggressive and modern, has a large black grille with large vents, and the full LED headlights also flow nicely into the black grille. There's no fog lights, by the way, on the new Camry. With this XSE, you can choose a two-tone color, with the body being one color and the roof being black. This is really sleek and gives the Camry a sports car vibe. Now, speaking of sports car vibe, take a look at the side profile of the Camry with its large 19-inch wheels, sloping roof line, and its body lines. This is one good-looking sedan. Now, the back of the Camry also looks great with its LED taillights, quad exhaust tips, and that small little black trunk spoiler. It all flows really well. Now, the trunk to the Camry is fairly wide and deep, and the seats can fold down for more cargo room. Inside the XSE, it is filled with leather, and there is some chrome piece on the door panels that look real slick. As for space, I'm 5'10" and I have about 3 inches of legroom, and similar in headroom. So the Camry is not the most spacious in the second row, but most adults will feel comfortable enough. However, you only get a pair of vents standard, no ports of any kind. Now, because this XSE does come with all-wheel drive, there is only one engine option now, a 2.5-liter four-cylinder that is pushing 205 horsepower. Now, if you get an all-wheel drive non-XSE, one of the lower trims, the engine has slightly less power. All engines are mated to an 8-speed automatic. Fuel economy figures are still under embargo, and I will talk about what they are in a separate video later on. Now, the all-wheel drive system and the engine are both pulled from a RAV4. So next, let me play you an interview I had with Mark DeYoung, who is the chief engineer of the Camry all-wheel drive and Avalon all-wheel drive. Take a listen. I am standing here with the chief engineer of the brand new Camry all-wheel drive and the all-wheel drive Avalons. This is Mark DeYoung. How's it going?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I'm hoping that you could help answer a few questions about this brand new all-wheel drive Camry. So, so let's start out. Why did Toyota wait so long to release an all-wheel drive version of the Camry?
Well, we have had customers that have been asking for it for quite a while. You know, we made our business case for North America to have this vehicle, and we got it approved, so it's ready for the U.S. and Canada now.
Nice. And I would say the main competition would be probably the Altima all-wheel drive. Is that correct?
Yeah, Altima all-wheel drive, Subaru.
Okay.
So those vehicles exist in the segment.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I know that the powertrain is a 2.5-liter four-cylinder. And is that straight from a RAV4?
Yeah, it is actually.
Okay.
And you know, a lot of the components come directly from the RAV4. Rear suspension member is almost all carryover from RAV4, and we're able to put it up into the Camry here.
And then the all-wheel drive system?
The all-wheel drive system comes from RAV4 as well. So all of that. So it's kind of one of the beauties of TNGA is being able to use those parts in our different vehicles.
Nice. Okay. And overall, in terms of added weight, is it roughly around 200 pounds or a little bit
Yeah,
less?
it's about 165 pounds. We've got about 35 pounds up front and about 135 pounds additional in the rear.
Okay, cool. Anything else? Anything else exciting about this all-wheel drive version of the Camry?
Well, it's got the dynamic torque control. So from a standstill, from 0 to about 15, 16 miles per hour, it will be on with 50% of the torque going towards the rear.
Okay.
And then while driving after that, the car is constantly looking. It's looking at the ECUs, the G sensors, Excel input, steering wheel angle, and it's trying to figure out if it needs to add power to the rear wheels. And so it has an electromagnetic decoupler at the rear diff.
Oh wow.
And so when you don't need it, we've got the fuel economy savings, so it decouples, so you're not wasting that energy. But as soon as you need it, instantly kicks in, and then we'll send up to 50% of the power towards the rear wheels.
Nice. So you're cruising on the highway, you don't need it, it decouples, you're saving gas.
That's right.
If it detects any kind of slippage, it's going to engage right away.
Absolutely.
Nice. Nice. Very nice. Well, I can't wait to take it out for a test drive, but I think that's all the questions.
Okay.
Thank you for your time.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Up front, you have a leather wrapped steering wheel that feels good and has the right thickness. Buttons on the right control the adaptive cruise control, modes, and scrolling for radio. Buttons on the left control volume, phone, voice control, and the info screen in the gauge cluster. Now, the info screen in the gauge cluster is huge and you get a lot of information, including your trip, TPMS, range, safety features, and a whole lot more. Left of the steering wheel, you have some buttons for the auto high beam, traction control, bird's eye view camera system, trunk release, fuel lid release, and heated steering wheel. Now, moving on to the infotainment screen, you have a large 8-inch touchscreen that is pretty easy to use and responsive. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and Wi-Fi are all standard. You also have a very large knob for volume, also one for scrolling, and you still have a CD player on top. Underneath, you have climate controls, dual zones, and you have some buttons for the fan, modes, defroster options, and recirculating options. Underneath that, you have a USB port, a 12V outlet, and a tray for wireless charging, and that tray could be opened up for storage. Now, the shifter is standard, but you do have manual shifting along with paddle shifters. Underneath the shifter, you have 3 driving modes, Eco, Normal, and Sport, along with brake hold and release. To the side, you have a pair of cup holders, you have 3 levels of heated and ventilated seats, and a whole lot of storage underneath the armrest, along with 2 more USB ports. On top, you have some home link buttons and controls to the large panoramic sunroof. Normally, this is the part where I go over the drive and tell you the driving impressions of this brand new Camry all-wheel drive. Unfortunately, Toyota is still having driving impressions along with fuel economy figures under embargo until next week. So stay tuned for part 2 of my Camry all-wheel drive review. You definitely don't want to miss me driving this Camry on mountain roads in Utah, especially going downhill. Trust me, it's a treat and you guys will enjoy it. So stay tuned for part 2. That will be out next week. Thanks for watching. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe to the channel and check out these other videos.